What's going on, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Form, and this is Formcast, and today marks episode 100. And yes, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm actually sitting down for this one. Why? Well, because I'm getting old. No, actually, it's mainly because the Christmas tree I put up in my stream room here is hovering over my desk a little bit in the back end, and if I lift up my desk, I gotta move the tree, and I just don't want to break the tree, and it's on this. Not gonna lie, this non-sturdy box setup I've got so that it is high enough for the camera to see it. Um, in any case, thank you so much for listening. Episode 100. I've uploaded an episode pretty much. Now, I want to say I had about a 2-week stint at one point in my stint where I didn't upload because I didn't have time to record or something or whatever was going on in life at that point. But technically, pretty much one episode a week, 100 episodes, 100 weeks. I just want to take today's episode to pretty much just talk about maybe why I started the podcast and why I still do it. Obviously now the podcast initially started as an idea of a way to talk about streaming and a way to talk about my own personal life without having live responses to certain topics and certain discussions and events that I've been chatting about. So when you're live, you can talk about your life and you can talk about this and that and all sorts of things, games, whatever, movies, but you always have responses and conversations grow from that. And, you know, they go in different directions. In a podcast, well, you kind of get to choose exactly what direction it goes in and what flow it goes in and all that kind of stuff, right? So with that being said, 100 episodes later, I'm still doing this just to chat and share ideas and topics and thoughts. And some weeks it's shorter than other weeks, but it's also a way for people to, offline anyways, get a bit of an insight as to my personal life. And I've talked about things with my family. I've talked about things in my own personal life and events I've gone through. And most recently, for example, buying a puppy and how she's doing and all that kind of stuff, which, by the way, she's under my chair right now, sleeping soundly, which is really helping me get this done. But in any case, I started it 100 episodes ago just to, like I said, chat about streaming and maybe give some tips about that. But it was also just to be like, hey, I'm also a human being and this is what I've gone through. And some of those were super emotional episodes. Some of them were just pretty bare bones, scratch the surface. And that's exactly what I wanted it to be, is just something that was my own. I'm not entirely sure how many people really listen. It's not something that I do and I try and grow, exponentially. And it's not something that I've done to try and make a thing of it and become popular on podcast platforms, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all that. It's not something that I've done in order to, I don't, can you even monetize a podcast? If you can, clearly I don't know how. But I haven't done it for that. Most people who do listen, I think, are people who are already in my community, in my stream. I promote it seldomly, probably should do it more. But at the end of the day, it's something just that I have and I get to use as a platform, as a space where I can literally just share whatever thought I have. I don't edit my podcasts at all. I one take shot, one take recording, I guess you can say, and I edit the beginning of it when I start speaking, and I edit the end so I don't look like a loser trying to end the recording. And that's about it. I don't cut things out. I don't edit in any way. One thing that is the downside with that is I've never really had a guest on my podcast because of how much time I would need to go into, scheduling and who would be there and what we would talk about and making sure I edit out, any extra noises or speaking at the same time and you can't really, hear exactly what's properly being said, stuff like that. But again, I'm not some podcast guru, so I don't know if that would actually be useful. But in any case, it's something that someone can listen to and just get an insight as to who I am and what I'm about, and also how I might be off stream. 100 episodes later, I'm happy to say that people still download the episodes. I do see that when we do upload them on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. There's a few people on the community side that look and there's a few people that watch the videos on YouTube of the podcast. They are uploaded there every week, regardless. So it's definitely something that I guess the reason I do it is just for my own knowledge of, hey, look, I'm doing something still. I've stuck with it. I've been consistent with it. I've managed to talk about something, even if they're just like 10-minute episodes, which I actually really enjoy. I'm not a fan myself of podcasts that are like an hour long because there's just, I don't have the time to listen to a podcast for an hour, or my attention span just isn't that long either. So these, 10-minute episodes on the way to work, on your way to the gym, or at the gym, or just getting ready in the morning, stuff like that. Something people can play and listen to. And if it's something that they're interested in, well, so be it. You know what I mean? So definitely something that I never thought I would ever begin with, never thought I would actually stick with. And 100 episodes later, still sticking with it. Will I have guests in the future? Potentially, but the thing is, the guests that I would know are people I meet through streaming, and I don't think I feel comfortable enough in having anybody in my personal life, like siblings or parents or anything like that, as a guest, because I just think that's just not where I'm at right now. But every guest that would potentially come on are strictly people that don't know me personally, but people that know me through streaming, through gaming, stuff like that. So at the end of the day, it's difficult for me to say, yeah, let's bring on a guest because we'll talk about streaming some more. Um, I think when people have guests, they bring a lot to the table where the host can kind of just sit back. I don't know how that really works. I've never done it, and it would be something super, super new for myself as well. So we always shy away from the unknown and the new. So I'm trying not to dive into too much new so that I don't overwhelm myself. But the podcast, 100 episodes later, I think is going well. People who find out that I have a podcast listen for a little bit. I don't know if there's anybody that listens to every single episode every week. I have had people tell me that they really enjoy the episodes. They've helped them get through a few things. It's things that they actually listen to while kind of on their way to work, and it's an every week thing. Can't wait to look forward to the next episode next week, stuff like that. So it motivates me, it encourages me, and it inspires me to actually continue putting out the episodes, because when you make a podcast, you upload it, and I don't really look at the stats. So I'm not entirely sure who is listening or how many people listen, or if it's worth continuing, or if it's worth the time and dedication that I put every single one of my Mondays on my days off of stream is record podcast and edit it a little bit, upload it to YouTube, upload it to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, make sure all that stuff is good to go, and then and then just find topics throughout the week. If nothing major has happened that week, find a topic to talk about and just give my 2 cents about it. So I think it's I mean, it's a lot of work, but it's something that I'm not going to stop. We're 100 episodes down. I'm looking forward to hit 200. And the more I get into streaming, the more I get older, the more things happen in my life, um, the more we have to talk about. And I think that's the most important thing is every episode is different. Every episode can be either really deep, serious, it can be funny, it could be short, long, it could be about gaming, streaming, it could be about personal life, my family, my parents, stuff like that. So at the end of the day, every episode brings something new. And I think that's exactly what I love about making this podcast is that no matter what I do is I'm doing my job. I'm doing the job of finding something to talk about. I'm finding I'm doing my job of uploading it on schedule every single week, every Wednesday, 9 a.m. they get uploaded, 9 a.m. Eastern, if you were curious. And we're doing okay with it. So whether people listen or not, it doesn't really matter. I'm doing this for me, and the bonus of people listening is just that, a bonus. with that being said, episode 100. No clue what the next 100 may hold for us, but I'm excited to get through them. So I guess in that note, it's the 2nd of December. The year is coming to a close. We have 1 month left. Looking to make it maybe one of our best months ever this year. And, well, happy holidays, and we'll see you next time. And thanks for listening. Catch you next time. Cheers.